Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a necklace and earring set using products from the February edition of the Bargain Bead Box. So it was called Violet Glade, and Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription service. It is under $20 shipped to your door. Comes with a lot of beautiful beads. I have a whole playlist of unboxings if you want to check it out. I've been unboxing it for years now. But yeah, it's one of the best beading values out there, I believe, in a subscription box. So today we're going to do this. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is Proverbs 4:23. And it says, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Very wise words from Solomon. Okay, so here's what you're going to need if you want to make this necklace. I have a piece of 7-strand bead stringing wire. You can use any bead stringing wire that you have. 7-strand always seems to work just fine for me. And if you're not familiar with why that there is 7-strand, 19-strand, 49-strand, it is because that is the amount of strands that are woven together to make this. So this has 7 strands of wire woven together and coated with like a nylon coating. It makes it very, very strong. So you can imagine the 49-strand is going to be a lot stronger than the 7-strand, but I've never had trouble with the 7-strand breaking or anything like that. So, 7-strand should work just fine for you. We're going to use 2 of the 10mm amethyst rounds. We are going to use the beautiful pendant, this amethyst pendant that was in the box this month. We are going to use the entire strand, almost, of these ombre, it was kind of like an ombre strand or a mixed strand of rondelles, and we're going to make it a little bit ombre. I took out the electroplated ones. I'm using the rainbow electroplated ones. Where are they? I'm using them in another project. These. Let me show you which ones I took out. These, I took all of these out. So I'm going to use them in a different project, but the whole rest of the strand I'm using, okay? We are going to be using some of these little tiny rainbow electroplated beads. We're going to be using some of the chain. So here's the chain. I have 2 eye pins, 2 crimp bead covers, and 2 2x2 crimp tubes. These crimp bead covers, I would say, are about 4mm. These are the 2x2 crimp tubes, and then I've got 2 of the eye pins from the box. I'm going to be using the toggle clasp from the box. I have some jump rings here, just little 6mm jump rings, and that's all you're going to need for the necklace. Okay, so let's do the necklace first, and then we will go to the earrings. Okay, so I get these little containers at Dollar Tree, if anybody wonders, because somebody always asks me, and I don't know if I said that already, but I'm trying to say it in all my videos, because somebody always asks, where do you get those little clear containers? Dollar Tree. They're in the catering section, and they are like, I don't know, there's 8 or 10 of them, or 12 of them, I don't know, for $1.25, so really good deal. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our bead stringing wire, and we're just going to hang our pendant piece right on the middle, just like this. Okay, now, here's what I've got. And this is kind of, I don't know if your all strands are exactly the same as my strand in that they have the same, oh my goodness, get out of the way. Why are you doing that? They have the same number of each color. I don't know how that works with your all strands and my strands. Like, for instance, my strand had 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 of these metallic purple ones on there. Okay, I don't know if your strand had 8 of them, so you may have to adjust this a little depending on what was on your strand. But I'm using 8 of the metallic purple beads, 4 on each side of my necklace here. Okay, so 8 of those. Then I had, I think, 20, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 8. Oh, that's not good. Okay. 15, 18. This one has a crack in it. I did not realize that. So it still could be used. I'm keeping this. Am I keeping this necklace? Yeah, I don't know if I am or not. So I'm going to take 2 of these out because this one's cracked and I don't want to if I end up selling this necklace, I wouldn't be able to do it with a good conscience if I had a cracked bead on there. Okay, so that changed this amount a little bit. So we have 3 over here, 3 over here, 3 over here, 2, 2, and 1, 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 18 of these darker, these are what I would call like a luster coating on these. They're so pretty. So I have 8 of the metallic, and what did I say? 18 of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, 18 of these. Then the lighter violet, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got 12 of those. Then the really light, this pinky color, I have 3, 6, 7, 8, 10 of those. Okay. And then we're down to these clear-ish ones. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. 16 of those. Okay. So let's do this again. So we have 8 of the metallic purple. We have 18 of the luster-plated purple. We have 12 of these really pretty opaque violet color. We have 10 of the pink and 16 of these kind of, I don't know what you would call these, vitriol or something. And then all of these little guys. Okay, so that's what we have. And then we have 2 of these amethyst beads and our pendant. Okay, so we hung these on our pendant. Now what we're going to do is we are going to start with these clear-ish silver beads. And we're just going to put even numbers on each side. So that's 2 on each side. There's going to be 8 on each side, I believe. There were 16 of these. So 3, 4, 5. I'm just putting them on here. That's all I'm doing. 6, 7. And so, like I was saying, if you have different numbers of these beads, because I don't know that all these strands were the same. They could have been, but I kind of doubt it if it's just a mix. You know, it was probably just, when they strung them, they probably just mixed, you know, strung them randomly. So in that case, you may not have the same numbers as I have, and you may have to adjust that a little bit. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And now I'm going to do one of the little electroplated beads. These little tiny, gosh, please go on there. There we go. These little tiny 3 millimeters. Okay? So there's what we've got right now. Now I'm going to do my pinks. So I think I had 5 of these. So I'm going to, 10 of these. So I'm going to have 5 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on this side. 5 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 7. I know I had an even number. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there was 8 of these on each side. 8 and 8. And then we'll do our little electroplated bead. Okay, 1 on each side. And then we'll go for our light violet here, and we'll see if that looks good. I don't know, I maybe should have put it down here. It is a lighter shade. Because these are transparent and these are transparent. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be kind of interested to see. You know what? I think I'm going to do them next. So you guys let me know what you think. If I made the right decision or if they should have been after the other transparent ones. I don't know. These look so much lighter to me that I think I'm going to have to do them next. So, but I want to know what you think. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 12 of these total. So isn't it funny how, you know, I laid them out and looked at them and I thought I had them looking good, and then I totally switched the whole thing up. But sometimes it's necessary. Okay, so there's that. I don't know. I think I do like, oh shoot. I think I do like the violet ones best. I just totally, oh my gosh, you guys are going to kill me. I just totally, I'm so professional, aren't I? I totally unstrung that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to string up the pink, then the violet, then these transparent guys, then the luster guys, then the metallics, with an electroplated small bead in between each section of color. So just like we were doing, that's what I'm going to do. So you guys do yours and come on back. Okay, so here's what we've got. So I strung it up, obviously, with the pinks, lavenders, then those transparent, then the luster, then the metallics, with a little 2mm in between each one. I like this. I think this looks really good. Finally. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link with these amethyst beads and a couple of these. So I'm going to do the little 3mm, the amethyst, and the 3mm. Just like that. Okay, and we're just going to make another loop. So it's going to be a link. So I'm just bending this 90 degrees. And then I'm going to cut this right about here. I do about my finger's width there, a little bit less, and then I'm just going to roll the loop. So here's what I've got. I'm going to do the same for the other side, the other one. Okay. Bending 90 degrees. Cutting a little less than my finger's width. And rolling the loop back. Okay. So there's what I've got, 2 little links. Now we're going to crimp directly onto this piece. So you want to make sure that these loops are closed up really good. Okay, you don't have any way that that wire could get out in between these little loops. You don't want that to happen. So just take your pliers, make sure that they're closed tightly, and then we're just going to take our crimp tubes. Whoops. That's what happens when you don't use a bead bug like you should, like I should. Okay. So we're going to take our little crimp tube. I'm going to put it on first, then I'm going to go through my link, coming back around and through my crimp tube. And I don't know if this will go back through that little 3mm bead or not. We'll see. If it won't, then it's not a big deal. Kind of doubt it's going to. No. Oh yeah, actually it did. Huh, that's amazing. Okay, so that 7-strand wire did go back through the 3mm bead. And then I'm just going to go through a couple of the other beads here. So I have a little loop here. This is what I've done. I'm going to crimp it right on here. I'm just going to scoot this up to where it's a very small loop, right about like that. But I do want to leave enough room because I am going to put that crimp cover on. Okay, so I'm going to grab my crimping pliers. Now, here's what you want to do. You want to try and make sure that your wire's not crossed. If it is crossed, it's not a huge deal. It's not going to really matter. But you want to, I mean, it does matter, but it's not going to kill anything. But you want to try to make sure it's not crossed. On this side, you can do it fairly easily. I'm crimping down, and then I'm turning these 90 degrees. And I'm just closing that little crimp. Okay, so there's what we've got. A good little crimp. I want to make sure that I put the tail under these beads. I'm going to take this crimp cover. Actually, I'm going to crimp the other side first so I don't drop all my beads off again. Okay, there we go. So scoot this up. Make sure your wire is covered up by your beads. And then just do the same on the other side. Now on the other side here, I'm going to make sure, so I'm going to lay my necklace out here for a second before I do this, before I close the second one. And what I want to do is I want to make sure, number one, that the bail can hang between these two beads. Okay, that there's room for it to actually hang down on the wire between those two beads. And then I'm just going to kind of fold everything over and make sure everything is even. Let me get that little piece of wire back in there again. It's being difficult. And I want to make sure that this is not poker straight. So if I push this down really tight, can you see when this bends how the beads kind of, it warps it and there's no room for the beads to have any movement in here? You don't want that, okay? You want your pendant piece to be able to lay down in there between the beads, and you want there to be just a little bit of movement, not a lot. It's a fine balance. You do not want a lot of movement in there because you don't want things flopping around, but you don't want it so tight that it looks weird either. So I take my crimp and I put it on. I do make sure that this is scooted all the way up down here, okay? And that nothing's going to come loose there. I make sure that this is hanging down on the wire, and then I just kind of let gravity do the work. I just pull it and just kind of dangle it here. And then I'm just going to take this, put it on, and crimp. Just like I did on the other side, except for I'm just kind of letting gravity do the work on this side. So I don't end up with it looking weird. I'm going to go through the beads here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it, and you want your loops to be, you know, basically the same on either side. Pull a little more. Okay, that looks pretty good. So as you can see, this is laying down in here. This is completely pulled up all the way over on here, so there's no gaps there. And this, there's some room for it to wiggle, but you don't see any big gaps in between the beads, okay? And this little loop here, once I pull it back up, is pretty much the same size as this little loop here. That's what you want in your whole thing. That's what you want to happen. Now, I've pulled it just a little tight over here, and I need to make sure that that can lay down in there. I don't want those beads pushing up on that because then it's just going to look weird. So I just want to make sure that that can go down in there. Pull this tight again. And I'm going to crimp this. So on this end, you really can't make sure that your wires aren't crossed. I mean, it would be really hard to. So like I said, if you can, do it. If you can't, it's not going to kill anything, but it's optimal if you can make sure they're not crossed, but there's really no way to do it on this end very easily. And then we just close the crimp up. Okay, so there that is. I always give it a little tug and make sure that nothing's going to come loose, because if it's going to come loose, you want it to come loose now, where you can fix it and not later. You know, when somebody's wearing it that you sold it to. Okay, now we're going to take our little crimp covers, and it's like a little Pac-Man bead, and I'm just inserting it over my crimp here, making sure that my little 3mm is out of the way because he's trying to be in the way. You don't want him underneath it. And I'm just going to gently take my pliers and close it right over that crimp. And these, I've found that they never close right the first time. At least mine don't. And I have to play around with it a little. But thankfully, they're very malleable. And if you play around with it a minute, it will go into your little round bead. Or that's what it looks like anyway. It's just a little round bead on there. See that? We're going to do the same on the other side. Well, maybe. Get in there. Don't be difficult on me, on camera, with everybody in the whole world watching. Don't do that. Okay, here we go. There we have it. All right, so there is our pendant piece so far. Now, I'm going to hook on some chain. So what you want to do is you want to hold this up to yourself and you want to measure it and see how long you want your chain to be. For me, I know that a necklace like this, like I don't want this to be real long. I want this to lay right around my collarbone area. So I know for that type of necklace, I like it to be about 21 inches, 20 to 21. So I've got 8.5 here already. So if I double that, I'm going to have, which I don't really want to double it, but I've got 8.5, but I'm just trying to think of how much chain I'm going to need. So 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, 13.5, 14. So the length that I like it to be is a total of 21 inches, all spread out, like end to end, 21 inches, okay? I know that I said that wrong there a second ago. So this, when I measure, I'm not even making sense to myself. I'm trying to make sense to you all. It's been a crazy day. So anyway, 21 inches total, 20 to 21. So if we have 8.5 here, we double that, we've got 17 inches, okay? 18, 19, 20, 21. So I need another 4 inches. So I really only need about 2 inches of chain on each side to get this the length that I want it to be. I'm probably going to do 3 inches of chain on each side, maybe. This is tied in a knot. How did that even happen? Okay, so let me lay my necklace out here. Oh gosh, let's see. Yeah, if I don't do about 4 inches of chain, it's going to look really weird. I could probably get away with 24 inches on this one. Let me hold it up again. Actually, okay, so let's see. I'm going to cut about 6 inches of chain here. I know I'm not making any sense, like totally not making any sense at all. I'm so sorry. My light keeps going out over here for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So let me cut 6 inches of chain here. I just don't want it to look weird. If I just have this teeny weeny bit of chain over here, it's going to look kind of funny. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this chain right onto here. I'm not going to use a jump ring for it. Normally I do because I like the way things lay better with jump rings, but I'm not wanting to add any extra length. So we're just going to hook it straight on. And what I'm going to do is hold this up again. And with this piece of chain, yeah, that's about right. I don't know why. I guess I have got the wrong idea in my head or something. I don't know. It needs to be about 6 inches. It's been a crazy day. I actually have had some issues. I'm going to cut this the same length here. And had to have a mammogram and an ultrasound this morning. Because for quite a long time now, I've had some swelling under my right arm. And it's gotten bigger and bigger, and they were concerned. And so I went and had the mammogram and the ultrasound. And they said that everything looked good, so it's definitely not cancer, but they don't know what's causing the swelling. They couldn't see anything on the ultrasound, but it's a pretty significant swelling, so we don't know what's going on with that. But I am very thankful that it's not cancer. I was very relieved, but it's been kind of a stressful morning, so I'm a little bit a little bit off my game here with this jewelry making. All right, so I cut those 6 inches a piece. Now I'm going to hold this up, and it is a little long, actually. See, this is the problem that I have. So I'm going to cut just a little bit off. I'm going to go down. I'm going to even them up, make sure they're even. And I don't know, I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches off. You kind of have to just measure this how you like it to be. I mean, that's really the bottom line. I can do whatever I want to do, but it's up to you to do it the way that you like it. So I'm going to cut just a little off because I don't want it to be too long. Okay, well that's better. Now we're going to go ahead and try. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now what I have here, let me measure and I will tell you if you want to make it the same as mine. I've got about 13 or 12.5 inches, I guess. So about, I don't know, 25 inches total in this necklace. And then I'm going to put my clasp on. So here's our little toggle. This was a really cute little dragonfly toggle that came in the box. I like toggles for necklaces. I do not like toggles for bracelets. Every time I have ever worn a toggle as a on a bracelet clasp, it has come open. And I know that you can put a catch chain on there, but still, I don't like to do that. I like to just feel secure about it. So I'm pretty picky and will only use lobsters for the most part on bracelets or a button. Sometimes I will use a button. And every now and then I will use a magnetic clasp if it is a very, very strong one. So we'll see. But for this, we're using the toggle not on a bracelet. We're using it on the necklace this time. So here it is. Yeah, it's cute. And it still may be a tad longer than I want it to be. If so, I might take these loose and trim it up. But I do like it. I think it's super cute and pretty. And now we're going to do the earring, and then we'll put this all on a form over here so you can see it. And the earring is super simple. So here it is. Now this piece is from my own stash. You can use any ear hook that you have, obviously. I just liked this because I felt like that it kind of went with this. I don't know. But I had it, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I know it did not come in the box, though, so you won't have the same one unless you somehow bought the same one. But we are using 2, you're going to need 2 of everything. So 2 ear hooks, 2 of the little electroplated 3mm, 2 of the luster plated, 2 of the transparent, and 2 of the pinky. And then these 2 charms from the box and 2 head pins. Okay, that's literally, or 2 eye pins. That's literally all you're going to need. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our eye pin. We are going to hang this right on it and close it up real good. Okay, then we're going to take our pinky bead, our transparent bead, our luster bead, and our electroplated bead and put them all on. We're just going to make a loop. We're going to bend this 90 degrees, just a little bit above our bead, and bend it 90 degrees. Cut right about your fingers width, or a little bit less, and roll this loop back. Okay? Now, what you got to do now is we have to make sure this is hanging right, because when we put this on, you know, we want to make sure it's hanging right. They are on mine. You want them both facing the same direction. Okay? So there they are. And if yours isn't, you just need to adjust it. And then we're just going to put this ear wire directly on here. And that's it, guys. Super quick and simple little pair of earrings. So there they are. Really pretty, though. This box was just beautiful this month. And here is the necklace. So let me put this all on a form and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are in the light box. And here is the necklace, which I think turned out really, really pretty. I really like it. I'm glad I switched around the beads. I think they look better like this. And the little pair of earrings. So really nice bargain bead box. I gotta say, it is one of my favorite beading subscriptions. It's just a great value for the money. And of course, every month, everybody's not going to be happy with everything, but that's just life. You can't please everybody all the time. Believe me, I've learned that. So, yeah, it's a great value though. I have a $2 off coupon. If you subscribe, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, and you can use that over and over all month long. But I also have a $2 off coupon, so you can use that for your first month's box, $2 off if you want. Or if you don't want to subscribe and you just want to shop in their sister store, you can use that coupon for $2 off your purchase. But you can only use the coupon once. Okay, so if you subscribe, you get the 30% off coupon. If you don't want to subscribe, you can still use my $2 off coupon, though, in their store, but you just won't get the benefit of the 30% off all month long. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you being here. I want you to know it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.